Hey, Shalom, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us the truth and were well. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom. There's a mentality, there's a rhetoric that's famous amongst so-called black people, which we're not black, of course. We're Israelites, okay? We're the family of the heavens. But nonetheless, within black culture, there's a rhetoric, especially amongst the women of our nation, that's famous, okay? And you know it when you hear the term or the catchphrase, I don't need no man. And I'm gonna tie this into how there's people that are wearing fringes. There's men that are wearing fringes that are in the same spirit as the nigga woman when she says that I don't need no man. Meaning she's separate from her covering. She doesn't need that hedge of protection. A covering is very important. Yahweh Shai is our covering. A covering provides provision, all right? Preparations for the future, right? Provision, problem solving, how to deal with, adversity when it rises up in all the facets in which it may come. Protection, definitely need that, okay? And growth, okay? From the man to the woman, that would be what? The legacy being established within the minds of the children. Procreation, children being born and a way being passed down. Righteousness, okay? Growth in all facets of life, all right? But understanding the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai levels a man up. Your ways begin to please the Lord, and he'll have it to where even, your enemies are at peace with you because your ways please him. The scriptures say this, all right? So problem solving, provision, protection, and procreation, or sorry, I'll put / growth. Those are the things that a covering comes with. And our women are in the spirit that they don't need those things, which they're about to have a rude awakening. But you have men with fringes on who are leaders of congregations who are in the same spirit. And what am I getting at? There's a severe lack of acknowledgement of Yahweh Shai amongst those who know this truth or claim to know it. Prime example is High Chief Priest Alizé. When he goes on these podcasts and these platforms, which we're not supposed to do, we've been given our arena in which to teach. He'll say the name Jesus. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but he doesn't bring up the name Yahweh Shai. This is the Lord's true name, and this is what I'll refer to him as while we're on this podcast. This is the true name of the Lord, and you need to know it. You need to be equipped with it in the times to come, because it's about to get crazy out here, worse than any other time in history, like it says in Matthew 24:21. But he doesn't really even go into the doom even. It's always more so about nation building and bringing people together. But the Lord isn't about that. Again, somebody who feels compelled to go on those podcasts and those platforms, those arenas where the Lord didn't tell us to go, the motivation in their tank isn't about the Lord's mission. It's vainglory that's trying to be achieved. Even in the world, they understand what? The art of war. When you do battle with someone, you want to have the home field or home court advantage. You don't go to the enemy's terrain if you can help it, and do battle where they can mute your mic, limit you to 5 minutes, give you 2 minutes for a rebuttal, 2 more minutes for a rebuttal to the rebuttal. No, they don't control the course of how the spirit flows. But on the highways and hedges, that's our domain. That's where the gospel can be properly defended. We do our lessons. That's where the gospel is properly defended. And the Lord gave us those avenues and those arenas in which to do battle in the spirit. But again, the point of this video is to highlight that there's a lot of people who know they're Israelites and they're not being one. And part of being an Israelite truly is understanding who your covering is, how you have access to the Father. Who do you have access to the Father through? And that needs to be acknowledged on a regular basis. Every time you cut on a mic, cut on, the audio, that needs to be acknowledged. And that's not happening amongst the bigger portion of our people, which, the bigger portion is going to be destroyed, pursuant to Zechariah 13:8. When you really think about it, there's one subset of men who are truly, properly acknowledging the Son. And it's going to pay off big time. All right, so since I mentioned it in the opening statement, let's look up that word provision. All right, look up the word provision here. Check out what it says. I think, here's the first definition here. It says what? A providing beforehand action of arranging in advance. And there's so many examples in the scriptures where the Lord arranged things for our well-being in advance. Off the rip, you think of Noah, right? Lord instructed Noah to build an ark to save himself and his family, and 2 of every kind of animal. All right, so things could flow smoothly after the judgment. He instructed him what to do leading up to the judgment. All right, that's Genesis 6 through the 9th chapter. All right, Genesis 6 and 14, I believe. Let me see here. Bear with me while I get to it. 6 and 14. All right, it says, make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without. He was given instructions, detailed instructions on how to even, the nuances of the ark. We've been given the nuances of how to conduct ourselves as men of the Lord in our time. Another example that comes to mind is Joseph and his storehouses in Genesis, the 41st chapter. Check it out, just to double check, make sure I'm not tripping. Yeah, Joseph was given that dream where he would in Egypt, because he was made second command in Egypt. All right. And the Lord had Joseph go through all that hell so he could be in that position and be salvation unto his brethren. All right. But Joseph was given that vision when he was second command in Egypt, that there would be 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine. And Joseph was able to provide provision, storing up grain, not only to save Egypt, but most importantly, to save the nation of Israel. Use that utensil to use to save the nation of Israel. All right. And it is, this is the 41st chapter where you can read about it. Even the instructions in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, 1 through 15, the Lord told Moses, hey, this is the standard, the conduct that you ought to exhibit so that you could, be at rest. So you can have access to the riches of the kingdom of heaven. Did we follow those instructions? Obviously we didn't. But provision is always provided through the Lord. But you have to be in the spirit of acknowledging him. Okay? And there's a severe lack of acknowledgement of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Let's go to Philippians 4:19. Okay, let's check that out and see how it reads. But I also want to start at verse 10. Because people in the world, they always quote Philippians 4 and 13. But they don't understand the fullness of it. All right, but I'm going to read it here on the right here on the NLT. It says, how I praise the Lord that you were concerned about me again. I know you've always been concerned for me, but you didn't have the chance to help. When does the Lord has the chance to show his glory for those that he's chosen and loves? When you're in situations of great adversity. Not only is he magnified, all right, but you're recognized as one of his servants. The Lord will put the believers in situations that, carnally speaking, seem impossible to escape, just to show that he has their back, to show how great he is. So you're going to be put in situations that are uncomfortable. You're going to be put in situations to where, it's like, oh man, this is, I feel like I've been losing forever. And Jake will get in that spirit and lose patience, and they start to do hasty things, like go on all these platforms that you were not instructed to go on to. Things to try to, gratify your flesh, because you don't feel like the Lord is moving at a pace in which you would like. So you become self-willed instead of Lord-willed. Okay? Philippians 4:10 on the right here. How I praise you, Lord, that you are concerned about me again. I know you have always been concerned for me, but you didn't have the chance to help me. Not that I was ever in need, for I have learned how to be content with whatever I have. Check out verse 12. I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. You're equipped for any situation that the Lord swings at you when you apply the knowledge that he's bestowed upon us through his word, through his son. That's wisdom. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or with little. And then he goes on to say, I can do all things through the Mashiach who strengthens me. But again, Elijah, Jake, they lose that patience. They're not worried about the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 6:33 says, but seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you, right? But they get hasty. They get hasty, man, because things aren't going how they want it to go within their timing. And it talks about that in Proverbs 21, I believe. Let's go there, Proverbs 21. And the point is in 5, but I'm going to read 2 really quick. It says, every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice, and high look and a proud heart, and the plowing of the wicked is sin. And the point I wanted, verse 5, the thoughts of the diligent. And let's jump over to the NLT for verse 5. Good planning, all right, provision, good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, especially spiritually. But hasty shortcuts lead to poverty, especially spiritually. Okay, it's going to lead you to destruction when you make hasty decisions, when your decisions aren't guided by what the Lord wants. You see? Provision is provided for us. And it may not feel the way we want it to feel in the flesh many a time, but nonetheless is given to us, and it's the highest provision that can be offered unto a man. So again, the point of this lesson, I made the statement in the opening of the lesson, was that a lot of people are in that I don't need no man spirit. There's a severe lack of acknowledgement for Yahweh Shai. Okay? There's a severe lack of acknowledgement to our covering, which comes with, again, provision, protection, problem solving, and growth. So, Abaratazah, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.